Well, dear gentlemen, I am happy to see you here. And if you don't mind, I would like to start with the following question, which is touching your point of view regarding the meaning of the acceleration and the investments. Would you be so kind to share with me, do you see any kind of difference, and if so, which one?
Could you please repeat the question?
Sure, no problems. So, could you share your point of view regarding the possible difference, if it exists, regarding the accelerator and the investment, the accelerating and the investing, in the area, of course, of digital healthcare?
Yeah, so from our point of view, the difference between acceleration and investment itself, of course, accelerators have an opportunity to really help the teams going faster forward with a strategic and scalable program, whereas investors, they can have a very big impact on more specific issues and matters. So that's how we see it. It's about the scalability. That's how it differs.
Good.
Well, accelerator role is to move company forward. I fully agree. In some cases, accelerators are working with large corporations, so it's also about rolling out, testing, and adapting solutions to the market. While looking from the investment point of view, investors are always looking scalable solutions. Let me get back to the citation of Fred Wilson, notable VC investor, that used to say that on the healthcare market, there is a very big user base that are engaged in the process. So that's why there are not so many huge investments in the healthcare from the global point of view. But obviously the right path is the acceleration, the seed round, and then going up to the later stages of the investments.
Thank you. And Mr. Alexander, please.
Hello, everybody. Yesterday we had a very nice discussion with my colleague from Accelerator. I represent late stage investment, and for the late stage investment, I think it's not time to invest. It's most like a prototype and acceleration and the proof of concept. But I think the late stage investors or late stage funds can help accelerators to show direction. It's like somehow it's like a corporate venture who will say to the accelerators, we will happy to invest if this and this and this and this KPI you achieve. So this is, I think it's very important now, especially for healthcare or digital healthcare, which is, this sector is not ready yet for late investment, and it's still a lot of greenfield here.
Thank you very much. And you all have the experience in this area, I mean acceleration, and particularly in the investments into digital healthcare. So could you share a little bit about your personal interest? Why this topic is particularly interesting for you?
Well, at the healthcare products and healthcare acceleration, you can look from the two perspectives. Well, as we have seen in the latest presentations, the healthcare market is huge. People will always, sooner or later, need medical help, medical treatment. Well, obviously, except the extreme cases, like we have heard that people will sell their kidney to buy an iPhone in China, people will always prevail to take care of their health. So they are going to spend money on this. If we have the ways to optimize the healthcare expenses, there is a big chance that many solutions will get the proper traction, and obviously people are going to spend money on this. There is also the other angle of looking at the healthcare with the societal impact. We are helping people So on one hand, we are investing to get the good returns, but we are also helping people. So those two angles are for me quite relevant.
Looking from a very personal perspective, I'm very interested in this industry because this is an opportunity to do business at the same time as having a very clear impact on the society. Looking purely from the business perspective, we're currently in the healthcare market at a situation where the convergence of the industries, especially on the digital side, is going to enable us to create very, very interesting new solutions during the next coming years. And these, following with global megatrends such as aging, obesity, mental health challenges, allows for really interesting new businesses to form. So that's why I personally am very interested in this.
Thank you.
The 80% of my life is philanthropic. And of course I wish to say that this is philanthropic for me, and I want to work on this sector as a philanthropic. But it will be not true. I'm a human, and I already have a white bird, and of course I want that any innovation in the healthcare will come up, and then not only my life or life of my close friends and family, which I losing every week or every month, some people I know personally, but 150,000 lives every year. We are losing 150,000 of life, and we are spending about $20 billion for nothing, because the technology was not allowed us to save this life. And it's a big niche for your business activity, your professional activity, because 20 billions valuation of this sector potentially, it's big. And of course, if you have a brave and big heart, 150,000 life which you can save, it's a big, big, big achievement.
Well, thank you very much for such sincere answers. And I would like to ask the next one. If some of the visitors and listeners from the auditory just after the panel will approach you and represent their digital healthcare solution, what this solution should be and how much are you able to invest at this very moment?
So what we're looking for, as I said earlier, we're touching upon the global megatrends. Aging, mental health, stress-related solutions, diabetes is an important one, obesity. If you're developing these or solutions related to these, I'd be very, very happy and interested to discuss with you more. On the investment side, we invest up to 150,000 euros per company ourselves. But what makes us different from many others is that we combine this with the program itself. So if you want to work with us, that's through going through our Accelerator program.
Well, just today we are starting an open call in the digital healthcare topic in our accelerator. Let me show you. Look for people wearing those T-shirts. Ask them for 180,000 zlotys, which is 45,000 euros. And today we are launching an open call specifically in the digital healthcare. The call will be open till 14th of June, so you've got plenty of time to apply. Just go to fundingbox.com, look for the open calls, and the program is called Impact Poland, and we are looking forward to the best applications coming from you, and we'll be happy to invest. Equity free, this is the grant from the program called Scale Up, funded by Polish Agency for Enterprise Development, and we are distributing so-called cascade grants further to you, making the process smoother, easier, faster, Well, once we apply till 14th of June, we are going to have the results very quickly, and you will be able to start acceleration starting from September for the next 6 months.
Oh, I like this idea with this T-shirt, but why it's so dramatic funeral color? It have to be white. In healthcare, it have to be white. So we not directly, but indirectly invest already for the infrastructure, which will be platform for healthcare, for digital healthcare. We are biggest and largest blockchain infrastructure globally. So it's impossible to imagine the next decades and the next genius startups of the digital healthcare, which is not based on the blockchain infrastructure. So this is infrastructure. It's not maybe, you can't see it, you can't touch it, you can feel it, but you can't do nothing without this. And it's very, very, very costly. So the infrastructure needs huge investment as any infrastructure. And then it's easy to put some application or some solution on this infrastructure. So we already invest every day, we invest, and our infrastructure is growing. So I hope that indirectly our investment on this infrastructure will help as much as we can in any solutions of the digital healthcare in any territory, and we will feel that is our part also in such victory of digital healthcare.
So good. Now we have the second option to be able to apply with the interesting idea. And as far as I understood, you would prefer to invest into the infrastructure, giving the opportunity for others to grow their businesses within the country, right? Am I right?
I can't hear you.
Ah, okay. So the issue is that you prefer to invest into the infrastructure in general.
We already invested.
Microphone, please.
We already invested.
Okay.
We started invested a few years ago. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's very nice combination.
We already the largest blockchain infrastructure.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. And I would like to have the question for all the auditory, for all the panelists. What virtual tools do you consider in the most demand in the nearest period of time? If you are investing into infrastructure, if you are supporting the particular projects in the area of digital healthcare, and what virtual tools could you just direct our auditory a little bit? What is, from your point of view, will be the most demand in the nearest future?
So just one of many is data security. So that's something that needs to be in place. And unfortunately, many of the teams that we see, they haven't taken this properly into account. And if this is something that you lack experience of yourself in the team and feel that you don't have the time to properly put into this, I would advise you to think a little bit differently. There are also startup companies and established companies that are providing these kind of security tools so that you can easily be compliant with healthcare regulation. And I would advise you to, for example, look at Chino.io. That's one of a startup company that's providing these kind of services. So plug and play data security for healthcare solutions. So this is something that I find very important.
Thank you.
Well, during yesterday's pitches and today's pitches during the healthcare hackathon, the most often technology or buzzword used, except of the medical terms, were the artificial intelligence. So it's clear that there's something going on there. But to be honest, I was wondering if there would be any solutions referring to blockchain, because blockchain is another thing that is rising up in the other fields, and particularly in the healthcare, when the privacy of data is a concern, the decentralization, the ownership of the data, so that the user can decide where his data is stored, and with him he wants to share. The blockchain technology seems to be something obvious. So I was a bit surprised that there was no solutions referring to this technology or using this technology. I think it's going to come, and it's around the corner.
Would you be so kind to elaborate, please, with the blockchain in few more sentences?
Sorry?
To elaborate, please. Would you be so kind to elaborate a little more about blockchain, please? Because this topic is very, you know, one of the top topics regarding the press and the analysis and all these issues. So it would be really interesting to hear more about it.
Well, I guess you are not asking me what blockchain is, but how it could be applied in the medical solutions. Well, I think that well, right now there is no central place where you can store your data. There are a lot of decentralized and disconnected systems. You go to your doctor, and your data is stored in their system owned by this specific company. If it's LuxMed or the national hospitals, the data is only in their systems. If you want to go to the other doctor, if you travel abroad, you don't have your medical history with you. So this is, in my opinion, an issue. In the era of the digital time, I think that you should be able to have your data stored in a secure place, and then you decide with whom and when you want to share. And the blockchain seems to be the right technology and right approach to start working on these solutions. Obviously, there are a lot of legal limitations, different countries, different legislations, but I think this is just a matter of time.
Thank you. Thank you very much. You wanted to add something?
Yeah, I would actually like to ask my fellow panelists about the blockchain technology and how far it is currently. I'm no expert in the blockchain technology itself, but if I understand correctly, it's still very much a prototyping phase that we have in blockchain itself, and there's still a lot of way to go before we can actually take products to market using this technology. Do you have any examples of companies that would have already gone to market with this technology?
Well, I think you are right. This is still in the very initial phase, but in the other fields, there are a lot of new currencies or new tokens issued. In one of the articles I have recently read, that there were 15 new currencies or tokens created every month. So let's see which of them will get through. But this is definitely something going on and something right behind the corner that we should be looking at, specifically in the healthcare sector.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
First of all, what is a blockchain? I will explain you what is a blockchain and how it will work with healthcare. Blockchain have 4 core angles. First of all, it's identity. So for healthcare, identity of the patients, identity of the hospital, identity of the doctor, identity of the pills, medicine. So everything will be identity. The second is it's transparent. Absolutely transparent, all transaction, what you do, what you use or not, rejected as transparent. The second is it's trust and security. So everything what you talk about security, it's a big blockchain. So all these 3. And number 4, it's a disruptive. Disruption is, first of all, disruption of the regulatory. So this is very, very important things. So all these 4 bring to digital health everything what need and why the digital health cannot jump now to the real sector is the 2 things, the regulatory and connectivity. So let's wait for connectivity until 2019, 2020, when the connectivity will be like a 5 generation, and then regulatory, which will be disrupted now with a smart contract and everything which is already started. Let's say your sister neighborhood country, Estonia, is already make a 1 million patient of the blockchain ledger, but they need the connectivity. They need the next step connectivity for this. So the blockchain starts with the tokens and the, let's say, record of the currency. Now they start already with a smart contract and with a ledger, distributed ledger. And then we will see when they start with the so-called IoT or IIoT, when you have the 24/7 feedback for your patient or doctor and everything, but it give on the age of the 5G connectivity. So that's on the platform of the blockchain.
Thank you. But let's come back a little bit to the security, because you all mentioned also the necessity to secure the data, especially in this so sensitive digital area, digital healthcare area. And of course, I can completely agree with you, because the security of the data is crucially important, starting from the governmental point of view, just like for the data stores, and even going to the meditation application. Because when the person has the tool or service or product which is in high demand and present and is able to give it to the market, he becomes very influential, he or she. So the security is quite important in this area, the personal data protections. What threats do you see in this area? And maybe you have the solutions already.
Security is already here as a technology. Everything which is stopped now to deliver as a new age of security or to put the security on the market, it's a regulatory. So the government, it's the biggest stop. It's the biggest problem for this now innovation. This is the government and regulatory. So it's the same like with the Uber, the government and all the strikes, they not allow this technology to disrupt this market. But of course it will happen. So, but in the digital health, you will lose in every year 150,000 people because you're not allowed by regulatory, you're not allowed technology come to the market. Thank you, government.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree actually fully with that. But it's also about creating the trust. So I think that we have to be able to better show that these solutions are secure and validate that the solutions are secure. So enable people to actually assess that when they, for example, download an app on the App Store. Is the connection encrypted and is the database encrypted? Currently, it's very hard for the end user and user to do that. So we have to create, again, better transparency on this side.
Well, I think that each of the solutions on its own could be relatively easily secured by encrypting the data or different technologies that are available on the market. The issue starts when you start exchanging the data through the APIs, whom to guarantee the access, when, based on which rules, and this is the issue that is, in my opinion, not yet solved.
Thank you
Time
very
is
much.
over.
No worries. Now we have time for the questions from the auditory, in case if you have some. And I would really like to use this opportunity, and I would like to add the last one regarding the responsibility. So what about the responsibility? Yeah, no, just what about the responsibility? Well, you know, we have to develop this discussion in a while for sure regarding the decentralization. And how far do you think it's better to go with the responsibility for the improper share of data in digital healthcare? I mean, what kind of responsibility should be taken? Because we are talking about the transparency.
I will come back to my previous topic, but I will first answer to this responsibility. The technology, it's much more better solves the problem. So responsibility of the technology who can save your data, and it will be much more perfect than from the data from the people. But responsibility, if you just ask responsibility, if robots will be responsible for this.
Kind of.
Yes, it's now it's this topic of discussion of ethic of AI and ethic of machine learning. So let's say ethic of blockchain. So let's go to this topic, ethic of technology. But let's come back to the ethic of regulation and government. Why they stop this technology and we're losing 150,000 people every year?
They haven't started yet,
Yeah,
maybe.
no. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Well, I think responsibility is a duty of all of us. I think that we are not going to stop technologies. Technology is going to develop and we should adapt to this. Well, we should learn the responsibility by adapting the new solutions and by learning what is the impact. Well, if I could refer to some historical transformations, like when there were horses and there were cars, and the first accidents, the cars were blamed and they are too dangerous. Now we are not thinking about that the cars are too dangerous. We are simply using them on a daily basis. Nowadays, we are shifting from cars to the self-driving cars. When there is an accident on the road, nobody cares. But if there is an accident of the self-driving car, there is a huge buzz in press. So I think this is the normal path, how the technology gets adopted, how we get used to this and how we are using this, and we should just try adopting this in our lives in a responsible way.
Thank you.
There's of course so many different dimensions to this question, but in general I would compare this to for example a bank. So you're responsible for keeping safe the keys to that bank. Again, the bank is responsible for the matters that it stores and so forth. So I would compare this in the same way to healthcare as well. The companies are responsible for your data when they store it, and they should keep it safe. Yeah. Well, technologies and not companies was the comment from here. I think that of course, yes. In many occasions these can be the same, but in many occasions they can be different as well. So you're correct.
So no question. Why are you sleeping? Should someone jump with the Australian flag to the stage?
Do we have any entrepreneurs? How many are startup entrepreneurs here? At least 1, 2, 3. Okay. Big corporate executives or corporate representatives. Yeah. What is everybody else? What are you doing?
Patience.
Maybe they're waiting for the next topic, because slightly we are going from the representations of startups, and then we had this kind of discussion and conversation regarding the
Very
main
decentralized
areas.
audience.
So I would like to thank you. Thank you very much for your time and your sharing of points of view.
Yeah, thank you very much for the opportunity, and I would like to close on my part by also mentioning that our application period for the Vertical Health Accelerator program is open for another 4 days until Sunday. So if you're interested, have a look at vertical.vc for more information.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So, yeah, these ovations are for you. Thank you.